Everyone, I'm back today with another video, and today I'm going to be speaking about representation. And boy oh boy, have I never thought I would be speaking about this, especially not anytime soon. I've definitely always said to myself, when it comes to certain controversial topics, I'm out of it, based on the fact that honestly, in so many cases, I am scared of the backlash. The internet has so many opinions. The internet has so many people who have so many things to say. It can strike debates and arguments that sometimes I just don't have the energy for. But guess what, darlings? It's 2017 and I'm going to come here and speak about the misrepresentation of myself, people who look like me and people who are similar to me. And mainly in mainstream media. And I'm going to flip right back to where I started when it comes to this. I've always been interested in being in media. It's been one of my biggest passions and goals to be, be within the art field of media, okay? So like when I started media studies to begin with. I then went to uni and done television design. A lot of you know my background. I'm not going to get into that. But I think the main part of me understanding how the system works is when I was about 17 years old and I was working with a magazine. No, it wasn't even a magazine. It was an award show called the Screen Nation Awards. The Screen Nation Awards is a UK-based award ceremony that appreciates Black excellence in mainstream media. I worked at the Screen Nation, I think just like after 2 years of them launching. They have the greatest in mainstream media who attend this amazing award ceremony night. And to be honest, I feel that it has been highs and lows. The Screen Nation has been high and low because of the lack of support for that actual business itself. It hasn't really catapulted to the level that I expect to see it at, but the whole concept was amazing. So you have people like Noel Clarke, who else can I say? You know, there's black people in EastEnders and stuff and whatever. I worked for Screen Nation and I had to say to myself, when I was working with them, one of the management or, one of the bosses within the thing had actually said to me, do you know what, we have to do these awards because unfortunately we are barely, we're not seen in the BAFTAs, because this was the black, they call this the Black BAFTAs, okay? The Screen Nation Awards, that's what they call it, the Black BAFTAs, and black people are not represented in the BAFTAs, for example. So that was me at 17, 18 years old, trying to get to know the system. And honestly, this was my dream to work within this industry, so I had to understand what it's all about. Then moving on, I became a makeup artist. Now that as well was a career which came almost by accident type of thing, because I worked on Benefit Cosmetics as a Benny Babe, as they call it. And even when I look at that, we were just used to sell. We were just used to sell products. We was never really given thorough training as to how to be a makeup artist. When I worked at Benefit Cosmetics, there was only 3 foundation shades, all for white people. And that was something which, again, young, not noticing the difference, because growing up in where I grew up, I'm from a predominantly black area, so I don't really notice those massive or big changes, all those things that affects me as a person. But mixing and mingling with other people and understanding that, hold on, this is all that is being represented, it's made me have to think. So moving on from working at Benefit, obviously I've gone freelance, and I think this is where it really started to hit me. Working with models and seeing how they were being represented was a shambles. In fact, the fashion industry is the worst for it, because pretty much none of the models really get selected unless it's just 1 or 2. I think today we have Jordan Dunn, we have Leomi Anderson, Joan Smalls, Chanel Iman. But in Naomi's day, it was just Naomi and Tyra, and then Alec Weck, because she's obviously completely edgy and something new and fresh and different. And I can imagine it would have been really hard for her as well. But for the most part, working with models, having conversations with different models and them telling us, wow, Chanel, it's hard out here. hardly get chosen for castings, hardly get chosen for jobs. And even if I get chosen for jobs, guess what? My rate is so much lower than a white counterpart who happens to get paid way more than me, even though we're doing the exact same job. Okay? Very, very difficult for me to hear those things, but that's where I started to understand, okay, then clearly there's a fight for us to be represented in this industry. And what I'm trying to say is, the other day, I think Glamour magazine done they had nominations for something, and there was a YouTube category. There's not one black person on there, and I had to sit down. I had to say to myself, well, there's quite a few of us black people within on YouTube in the UK that could surely been used for this award things as well, right? No? Or am I wrong? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm seeing things. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm the only black face here. Perhaps so. I don't know. Well, let's look into that. So, obviously, you guys know I'm being sarcastic right now, and that's not the case. That was not the first time I saw something that honestly ticked me off. What also ticked me off was when they done, what's it called? The Stand Up to Cancer thing, whereas it was, anyway, working with the people behind the scenes, I kind of, there was an excuse for it, but it's still besides the point. They should have fought harder, they should have worked harder, and I hope that they can improve themselves next year. I don't like to pull people down totally. I feel that we need to make videos like this in order for them to see, in order for them to bring on and acknowledge the wider people out there. Because representation really matters, and it should really matter. And I feel that we are misrepresented, and that is not fair. When I was a child, and I was talking to my very good friend about this, who actually works in media as well, but if anything, what's really weird, that when you switch on British television now and see almost no black person, or not even if it's just black, but even a hijabi girl perhaps, or even an Asian person, it was different when I was younger, because back in the day we had Real McCoy, we had Desmond, what else did we have? We had a few things. We had Trevor McDonald's girlfriend. We had quite a few reputable black people, and even Naomi Campbell, Mad Girl, who were mainstream, that they were there, although they was barely acknowledged. At least they were there. But now I turn on the TV and I barely see anyone. Jamelia's not even on Loose Women anymore. What the hell? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what is going on? Why are we being taken away, and what are we doing about it to correct this? I'm just asking this mere question, because it's definitely quite worrying, because we're in 2017 and things need to be changing. And if it means I have to literally make a whole video to speak about it, I am going to. I normally try to not be controversial or speak about things, but I'm sorry, as a black woman, I'm offended. I'm offended that you don't acknowledge the fact that I work very hard, that I'm a very, very good person, and I have so much visions, I have so much goals that I really want everybody to come into. Why are we not being represented? I would like to see in future, especially when it comes to the YouTube community, that not only magazines and stuff, but brands acknowledge that there are different types of people on this platform with different types of audiences, and which all of those audiences need to be reached out to. My platform is different from Zoella's platform. She has a totally different audience than me. But if you're going to keep on using just her face because she's got so many numbers, and let's face it, because she's a white girl, if you're going to keep on using her face for everything and not my face, then you're totally undermining an entire audience, which is ludicrous. I'm going to be real. You're totally undermining the whole audience who you can reach out to. You know, and to be honest with you, I've just about had it. This isn't even a rant. This is just me being honest, and me being flicking through the internet and seeing things and being honestly aggravated in most cases that I appear, for example, this is not about me. By the way, this is not about me. This is a fact that there are so many black YouTubers here in this country and we barely get used. And if you're going to use somebody, it's one or two. And even they barely get used either. I'm trying to not mention names here, but I think it's pretty obvious. Even they barely get used. Especially when it comes to the Glamour Awards. You see a magazine and there's not one black person on that magazine, not one hijabi girl, not one Indian girl. Whereas there's so many of us here on the internet doing our thing, even with massive audiences. Like, come on. What's happening, brands? What's going on? I also have the same British accent that that girl has. Do you know what I'm saying? And if it's nothing to even do with my accent, how about a girl who has, I don't know, a Nigerian accent? She probably has a massive Nigerian audience. Why not reach out to her? What is wrong? What's wrong with us? Why does mainstream media not want to accept us? Even the ones who are polished and refined, if we want to take it there. Because I can understand to an extent that certain media and corporations don't want to use a ratchet person, for example, or a chavvy person. But there are very refined people as well, very refined and put together and clever and smart and articulate women that you still don't want to use. And this makes it seem that it's a whole race that you're against, and it's not the type of person who you're tackling here. So yes, darlings, I just had to get out here and make this video. Very controversial and totally out of my comfort zone, I'll be honest with you. But I had to say something. Do you know who I love? I love Jackie Aina. Ah, she's in America. I know you're all subscribed to her, but I love that woman. And all the time when she makes these type of videos, I just be like, damn, I wish I was that Jackie. I want to say something too. But I'm just scared I just say nothing because I don't want any controversy. But you know what, Jackie? Props to you, babes. You are an inspiration to us all. And I feel that worldwide she represents the black woman on YouTube. She has obviously the biggest audience, and do you know what, she acknowledges everybody. You know, she acknowledges everybody, and I see that about her. You know, she's a wonderful person for that matter. And I even feel that someone like her in America, where the opportunities are endless there apparently, I feel that even she could be offered a bit more because she's deserving of that. Do you get what I'm saying? But anyway, I wouldn't get into too much. Well, I have got into it all, haven't I? I'm going to end this video. Please share it. I genuinely want you lot to share this video and let it go viral. Seriously, let it go viral, man. Everybody needs to see this one today. Everybody. You guys will see me in my next one, which hopefully will be a really sweet video. See you guys soon. Bye.